I know the debate on budget, the way it goes, and predominantly it covers what about the part of the money. But we know all, we are here as politicians, but when we were young, we didn't start as politicians, we started as students. And each one of us have got their own profession, and this is only either for 5 years or for 10 years. I came here as a teacher, and I will go back to teach East Africans. A teacher is always a teacher, and my contribution will come from the point of view as a teacher. So, Right Honorable Speaker, when I received the documents in the nice bag, inside I find that there were 9 documents. Before I start allocating my time, I had to see what I'm supposed to do. I calculated and find that I was given 836 pages, either to read or to look at. I started with the budget speech. I already heard about the budget speech, but how am I going to contribute on it? The first thing to do is to compare it with the last year's budget speech. We are talking about the first Millennium Development Goal, which is talking about eradicating poverty. Why making it the first one? Because you are talking about human dignity. And therefore, all the work that we're doing is at least to bring the level of dignity of the people of East Africa to the actual one which have been endowed by the Almighty God. And therefore, this is for improvement of the welfare of our people. And as I said in the last time I got
guidance,
chance to
Honorable
contribute,
Speaker.
Honorable Nakauchi.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I just seek to be guided. Oh, now that the Chair Council is back, maybe we can proceed, because I was wondering who are talking to when the Chair Council is not here.
But honorable colleagues, what Honorable Nakauchi has raised is a very serious matter. I have been turning a blind eye along that line where the ministers sit alongside the Chair Council of Ministers. I have consistently noticed that he has been having a good company of Honorable Shem Bagaini. And yesterday, the previous day, I think there was Honorable Yontin. It is the concern of this assembly that this is the budget process. And we would have expected the ministers of East African Community Affairs to be in the company of the chair. I don't doubt the capacity of Chair Council Ministers, but I would like this concern to be taken by you. Thank you. Proceed, Honorable Kessy.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Maybe in my contribution, maybe that might also be clear. Right Honorable Speaker, as I said, I remember our beloved, one of the founders of this community, Mwalimu Nyerere, saying, for development, while the North is running, while the North is walking, the South should be running. But now we have the East that is coming running, so we have to be sprinting. I went back and quickly compare the budget speech of last year and this year. Being as a teacher, what would have been the assignment to my students? Compare what is new in this year's budget speech. As usual, I will direct my students, go and look at the outline. What is the theme? Look at the outline. What is the different chapters or parts, as it's called in this budget? And tell me what is new, quick. Right Honorable Speaker, I know this is a new community. The Secretariat is still young. And therefore, there must be some weaknesses, but that does not make me not to point out the weaknesses. Looking into the last year's speech and this speech, they do have the same theme. And therefore, I expected the budget speech in this year would have given us a reason why the theme has not changed. Not only that, when we got the report from the general purpose, which I totally support and agree with it, my Right Honorable Speaker and my colleagues, we receive a note about tomorrow morning we are going to meet with Twaweza. I have been part of giving information to Twaweza. I've been reading it. I'm an educationist. It is very sad to know what is going in our region. More than 43% of the children under the age of 5 are malnourished and are stunned, mentally stunned. And therefore, we know kind of people, kind of children we are sending to, what kind of kids we are sending to school. I am, and I believe many of us, a product of our education systems. I am a product of the Tanzanian education system. Now, Right Honorable Speaker, if we have students of Standard 7, almost 25% of the students of Standard 7 do not have the skills or ability to do the work of a student of Standard 2 all over the 5 partner states. You will hear more of it from the Twaweza. We have students from Form 4 finishing secondary school who can hardly read English or write an application letter of 3 sentences correctly. We being a product of our education system, it is important for these documents to be simple and clear. Many times I've talked about the word KISS, K-I-S-S. It's a very nice word. I pick it up from the European Parliament. It says, keep it simple and short. Having all these documents, it brings confusion. It was pointed out what the information Honorable Jeremy was giving and the information Honorable Valerie was giving. Both of the information is coming from the documents. Right Honorable Speaker, I would say that when I went to the speech of this year, I could find that, in summary, I find that they had got 6 parts. Part 1 has got 2 paragraphs. Part 2 has got 4 paragraphs. Part 3 has got 3 paragraphs. Part 4 has got 163 paragraphs. Part 5 has got 7 paragraphs. And Part 6 has got 3 paragraphs. And therefore, it was important for me to concentrate on Part 4. What does Part 4 entails? This, I think it's on page 7, if not 6. Part 4, the heading in capital letters says that review of EAC program performance for the financial year.
Honorable Kessy,
yes?
Of course, we are now a student of KISS, keeping it short. You have taken.
Thank you.
We have taken close to 9 minutes, so we had talked of 5. But I'll give you a leeway because you have good information.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I appreciate that. So, Right Honorable Speaker, Part 4, it says review of East Africa program performance for the financial year 2013-2014. And it's the largest part, more than 50% of the speech was on that. So I expected to see the performance of the programs of EAC for that particular year. But unfortunately, that is starting on page 5. Unfortunately, just as you flip and you go to page 6, it's talking about the key achievements during the financial year 14-15. The achievements of the financial year 14-15, they are under the program performance for the financial year 12-13. I can tell you as a teacher where they got that, but I'm not going to go into details. We say again, we are now talking about human dignity. We cannot talk about democracy, we cannot talk about equality unless we talk about the basic needs. One of it is water. So, under the achievements of 14-15, we have the one-stop border post, of which I appreciate the Secretariat giving us the statistics for the completion of the work. But I'm sad to say that many of those posts on the Tanzanian side, there is no water. In particular, at that stop border post in Rusumo, there is no water. There is no electricity. At Mutukula, I'm sorry to say that, they don't even have provision for toilets for the passengers. Where is the human dignity? Right, Honorable Speaker, I know my time is up.
It's actually up. You're parading
Yes.
on bonus.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, but you didn't allow me to do that. So, Right Honorable Speaker,
Summarize
before
now.
I finish, yes, I'm summarizing. Before I finish, Right Honorable Speaker, I know that I owe congratulations to the Chair of Council of Ministers for his hard work and his good work he did in reading us the speech. I congratulate the Secretariat. I've been following their work, and that it is improving in quality, though the M&A department still needs some more staff. And before I finish, I owe a great gratitude and congratulations to my friend, the Chair of GP General Purpose, Dr. Odette Nyiramilimo. And last but not the least, the document from the General Purpose was very clear, not necessarily short, but it really went to the point, and I owe a congratulation to the clerk of GP. With that, I support the report.